All right, so the Bucs go to New Orleans and they don't eat W's. The Astros, with some late game heroics to stave off elimination in the World Series, making the transition from our day jobs to our evening jobs. Well, except for the Chief and TSG, who, by the way, is on location at the Lightning game. So you get Pooh Bear, you get the Chief. I am beloved. Listen, trash cans, beware. We're coming in hot, and this is the main event. And there he is. And there he is. The GOAT himself.
Who's the man behind the mask in that video?
Who is the man behind the mask on that video?
You will never know.
I bet he doesn't keep it on the full hour. It's going to get hot.
Look at this guy. Oh, man, I tell you, that's probably one of the funniest takes from the whole We Got the GOAT video is Pooh Bear in that mask. And
how about the headphones are like right on my ears, like perfectly on the GOAT ears too.
Oh man, he's like stroking the horns. Do the goatee. There you go.
There it is.
The goatee. So listen, if you don't know what we're talking about, this week the main event released our most recent short, which is essentially a rap video or a parody of the song We're on a Boat, right? That the guys from Saturday Night Live made famous. But listen, TSG, what he put into putting this together in terms of the music and the lyrics and the mastering and all, dude, he created a studio in his house.
He has
a recording studio in his house.
He has a different skill set.
Yes. And so, man, he did an amazing job, and we put together the video. So if you haven't watched it, you got to make sure you go check it out. Share it with all your friends. Listen, have you talked to anybody yet who wasn't like, that is the coolest thing I've seen?
No. The closest I come is my wife, who said, parts of her are stupid, but she's got to live with stupid, so she sees it all the time.
Yeah, well,
I've had people that I haven't talked to for a very long time reach out to me, and they're like, man, that is a funny video. They were glad that we did it.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's just real quick, I figure it'd be fun. Like, why don't by the way, we've been working on this thing since like July. Okay. So for it to finally come out, we've got more man hours into this video than I think anything we've done. And it's like 3.5 minutes long. We've got some that are 20 minutes we didn't put this much work into.
Right.
What were some of y'all's favorite parts about making We Got the GOAT?
Oh, man. So I'll tell you that, well, it's not really my favorite part, probably my least favorite part, but it's something I'm not going to forget is that to lay down those lyrics, in Matt's, in TSG studio, I was about a line every 30 minutes. I mean,
it did take an insanely long time to cut the tracks.
It was brutal.
It gives you a new appreciation for recording artists and what they do.
Oh man, man, I don't know. It was.
Although I'm sure Michael Bublé goes in there and lays it down. He probably lays down a track for a new Christmas album or something, in as much time as it took for us to record, one song. Oh man,
you guys may not understand this, but I mean, rap is not really, my favorite genre of music.
You're kidding.
I know,
man. We didn't notice.
If you didn't notice it by my dancing,
it It doesn't show in the video at all.
I bet it doesn't.
We didn't notice. We didn't notice at all. Yeah. Pooh Bear, what were some of your favorite parts?
I think one of my favorite moments was when we're filming. We get on Chief's boat, the three of us, and we're actually heading out to meet TSG in his boat. And you guys didn't know that I had this thing.
Oh.
It had just arrived. So as you're piloting the boat and I'm slipping into this, I had a Brady jersey you guys didn't know about. I slid the Brady's jersey on. I put this thing on, and I'm sitting on the back of the boat, and I say something. You both turn around. I swear to God, we're gonna wreck the boat.
That was freaky, man. That was no lie. That was crazy.
I could hear the laughing coming over the wind and everything. So that was probably one of my favorite. Just surprising you guys with that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, my favorite, and one of them is an embarrassing moment. So we're shooting the scenes that were in front of the Jose Gaspar. And so for those of you who aren't familiar, it's off of Bayshore Boulevard. It is a main thoroughfare in South Tampa. And we're recording these lines, and we basically decide, hey, we're going to get a couple cameras out so we have multiple angles, and you're just going to sing the whole rap yourself, even though not all of the lyrics are yours. And so I go and I start rapping and I start dancing, and people start stopping to watch. And I'm like, this is incredibly embarrassing. White dude trying to dance, can't rap. That was pretty funny. But I thought one of the cooler moments was if you watch the video too, in the outtakes, we're doing the scene where we're throwing the trophy off the bow. And the Tampa Police Department boat pulls up next to us. And if you remember the story, Tom throws the trophy off the boat, but the Tampa Police Department was essentially following that trophy all over the boat parade. In the event that it actually went in, they had a dive team ready to get it. And those guys say, hey, that one goes in, we're not going after it.
Ours would have floated.
It would have floated.
It would have floated, man.
It was a Nerf ball.
But I'll tell you what, the Tampa Bay fans who stopped their boating activities for the day to watch us try to record the scene, it was like being watched by paparazzi.
It was crazy, right? I mean, the Coast Guard was out there. You had the dinner boat, the Red Pearl. They had a lunch cruise going on around Davis Island. Several boats stopped to cheer us on and waited till we did a trophy toss, and they would clap. Of course, we threw the trophy about 12 different times. So.
Yeah.
Just an all-around fun thing to see that people are still kind of jacked up about the Buccaneers.
Yeah, so that was fun. So that was fun. But listen, kind of moving on, just to say real quick, thanks for being here. If you're watching us, this is our second week in a row being on Monday night. It's just a scheduling thing because the Bucs played at 4:30 on Sunday. We'll be back next Sunday at our regular time at 7 p.m. because the Bucs are on a bye week. But I just want to say, hey, thanks for all of you who are watching. Please make sure you're like. We just want to know you're here. Just give us a like, subscribe. Feel free to share to your friends. Last week, we had a lot of interaction from those of you watching the show. We're going to be watching again today. Hey, this is about y'all. It's not about us. So feel free to chime in where you want to.
And if you're new as a new subscriber from watching the video, the GOAT video, welcome. Thanks for subscribing based on that.
Yeah, I think we've had almost 17 new subscribers since we launched that video on Wednesday night. So pretty cool. Thank you for checking us out. So listen, boys, we released the GOAT video.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We even reference eating W's in the GOAT video.
Yeah.
May have been our downfall right there, man.
And we go to NOLA and we don't eat W's. Now, the Chief and I, we were together this morning doing a little boot camp style workout. And I said to you, Chief, I said, there's a difference between getting beat, which we got beat by LA. They beat us. They were the better football team. Hands down, they beat us. We lost that game.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is there's a difference between being beat and a difference between losing. We lost yesterday.
That's a game that we absolutely should have won.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I still maintain the Buccaneers are the better team. They just did not have the better performance yesterday.
Yeah, that's fair. So I figure, hey, well, let's break it down kind of like we normally do. Let's go first, offense or defense? I'll set you guys up.
I don't care. I'll go
offense, defense. Now, okay.
No,
Chief,
offense wins. You want me to go?
So we'll go up. So let me give you some stats, Chief. So in regards to the defense, the league's number one rushing defense yesterday gave up 152 yards on the ground. Okay. They gave up quite a few yards to a third-string quarterback who hasn't played a game since 2017. 1 sack. Now, we got to the QB a lot. 7 hurries.
Pressures.
Our QB hits yesterday, but only 1 sack. Chief, what did you see from a defensive standpoint yesterday?
So the defense had their hands full, and look, I'm not one to really pick on the officiating because I usually feel officiating, if they're going to call it one way for a team, they're going to make the same call the other way. I did not see that yesterday. So I'm going to tell you right now, it's very difficult to beat the opposing team and the refs. I mean, it's 2 against 1 at that point. And I'm going to tell you what I mean here. Okay, so we had 11 penalties called against us for 99 yards. We had a couple of those absolutely earned. JPP jumps offside. We had another guy line up in the neutral zone. We had was there pass interference? Absolutely earned those penalties. Oh, not pass interference, but they called a holding while the pass was before the pass was thrown.
That was the last drive the Saints had that gave them the field goal. By the way, 2 holds on that play. Both.
So, but what I really want to talk about are the defensive penalties that. And honestly, I went back and I looked, and they're not penalties. Okay, the first one, Jameis Winston, they call horse collar on Jameis Winston. This is a play he tears his ACL on, and nobody wants to see the quarterback go down. Jameis, not a horse collar, by the way, grabbed his jersey, not at the top, around the shoulder blade, and they just pull him down. That is an A-OK, tackle right there. Actually kind of hard to do, in all honesty, to just hold on to that jersey like that. Not a horse collar. Second one, and by the way, we have 2 back-to-back roughing the passers called. Devon White gets called for one. Okay, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Golson gets called the very next play for roughing the passer. Now listen to this play, okay? Forget what's going on in the end zone. By the way, that's where we intercept the ball.
Yep.
But Golson is rushing the passer, gets his helmet ripped off, can't see where you're going. You ever had a football helmet ripped off you? That hurts, man. Those things are on tight. Gets ripped off. By the way, that only happens with hands to the face.
Exactly. So there's only one way that happens.
Yeah. So they don't call that because he didn't take it off himself. They don't call that. And then he bumps into him. I mean, literally bumps into him. Okay.
Didn't even knock him to the ground, by the way. It wasn't even hard enough to knock him to the ground.
Bumps it was such a ticky-tack call that even Troy Aikman was saying, "Hey, man, I don't know about that one." So
he hates the Buccaneers.
He hates the Bucs. He can't say anything nice. But anyway, that is a game changer right there because that's a touchdown that they wind up getting. It's a turnover that we should have had.
Hey, do you know what Antoine Winfield, the player that intercepted the ball, he was doing in the end zone when that penalty happened?
No. Oh, he was eating W. Oh
he was eating a W.
Dude, don't eat W. Dude, don't eat
Not even kidding.
Okay, so I have one more, and this one, okay, I have to admit I don't exactly know what was said, but Devon White gets called for taunting.
Yep.
On the sideline, he tackles Mark Ingram. They get tackled out of bounds. He stands up and he obviously says something to him, but he says something as he's walking away. It's not like he's in his face in his face mask, chewing him out or anything. He's not hovering over top of him. He's standing there and he's walking as he says it, and they call it. I'm going to tell you this. This is football. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you're going to take that, because I guarantee you there's more trash talking going on in those lines.
Yes.
When those offensive defensive linemen line up, there is some serious trash talking going on there.
Or the corners. If you think that Lattimore and Evans aren't talking to each other.
Oh, they were absolutely, they were just hating on each other, man. So, and by the way, every one of those penalties that they called, the horse collar, the roughing the passer, the taunting, those are all 15-yard penalties. That's 45. That's half of all the penalties that were called against us as far as yardage goes.
Right.
I have a theory. Do we want to get into the theory now, or you want to hold it for later?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So yesterday, Taysom Hill is inactive because he's got an injury. So they only had 2 quarterbacks on the roster. I believe that the NFL was going out of their way to protect the only remaining quarterback on the Saints roster. I don't know who their emergency QB is, but I mean, let's face it. You know, you're putting in an emergency QB. You're talking about a guy that probably played QB in high school. It's not a game at that point. And so that's where right after that's when you start seeing that, you know, back-to-back roughing the passers call. They're like, we can't afford to have this guy go down because we don't have a game at that point.
So I think, you know, listen, I would hate to believe that could actually happen in the NFL. I would hate to believe it. But, you know, to look at it, if you remember that part of the game before Jameis gets hurt, and again, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, we're getting to the quarterback pretty consistently. Now, Jameis is eluding of the defenders, though, right there, not doing a great job of containing. He was getting out. He had 40 yards rushing at the time that he got hurt. But they were getting to the quarterback. And as soon as they made the change, we were still getting to the quarterback, just a less mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
So, you know, I could see if you were going to make that argument, and if that's something that could actually happen in the NFL, I could see why.
Yeah, you know? Kent Trim's got. I mean, John Jones has a couple of comments here about first one or the second one is about the taunting on Devon White.
I don't even know what that means. You can't make eye contact.
I know, right?
I want to know what Kent Trim wrote in the Goat Gazette this morning.
And then he also called the Golson hit the Golson hit was a love tap. Oh man!
What did he write in the Goat Gazette this morning? Yeah, Chief. Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you shared there. You know, it's just
it was brutal to watch.
It was brutal to watch, and you know, I understand, Pooh Bear, that you got a little upset at the end of the game, and there was some damage. There was some damage.
Yeah, well, there was one play particular, and I'm starting to forget what. Oh, was it when? No, Brady threw the pick. So I kicked my trash can. We were on the patio enjoying cigars. All the kids and the women were out trick or treating. That had already accomplished, you know, because it was dark and whatever. We're back there, and whatever happened, and I just standing next to one of my outdoor trash cans. I just kicked it, and it came apart. So it's in segments, right? It's like in 8 different parts. So it immediately comes apart. Well, I put it back together, and we're sitting there, and we're like, all right, Bucs are back in this. They're driving, and then Brady throws a pick. And then I just destroyed it. I kicked that thing so hard.
he kicked it, and then we all kicked it. I kick it. Matty Ho kicks it.
We got to get the bad juju out. We had to get the bad juju out. I don't know what was going on, so we had to get it out, and we transferred all that negative energy into the trash can.
You know what we should have had ready for this show that we didn't is we should have had pictures of our Halloween costume contest yesterday. Okay, now we can put these up on the Facebook page later today, but we did a man event Halloween costume contest where we picked each other's names out of a hat, and you had to dress up as whoever you picked. So I got Pooh Bear. Isn't it funny? Pooh Bear got me.
Yeah.
Pooh Bear got me. I got Pooh Bear. The Chief was Matty Ho. Matty Ho was Javi. By the way, he's the winner of the Halloween.
Fantastic Javi. Yeah, it was a great Javi.
And Javi barely showed up as the Chief. I want to know. Oh, there we go. Listen, the best thing Javi did was get on his knees to act like he was the Chief.
There's Javi here.
I don't think Javi's any taller than me, by the way. I think we're about the same height.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
So now we're in agreement that Matty Ho won. Right?
Yes.
Oh, Matty Ho definitely won.
Yeah, Matty Ho is Javi. He's got the slides. You can see him down here.
With the socks. The slides with the socks.
He's got a Chef Javi hates cheese. So he's got this big cheese sign with the X'd out. It's got a chef hat, and he's miserable. Look at him. He was. Hey, John Jones, I'm representing your brand here.
Right?
Yeah. So funny. Hey, and by the way, my bald wig still didn't come in today.
Oh, you need to see to cancel that thing, man. It was hot, dude. You glad you didn't wear that thing? It was. I was sweating up a storm. I was glad to take it off.
Yeah.
That was
All right,
fun.
so
I'm not big on dressing up, and that was about as my limit right there.
Yeah, listen, by the way, you were the last one to get dressed and the first one to get
I was
undressed.
working, so I was cooking. I didn't want to get your shirt that your lovely wife loaned to me smelling like my grill.
You can keep this shirt. There's more where that came from. All right, so let's look at the offensive side of the ball, the GOAT side, as I like to call it. Listen, after several weeks of the running game really starting to come together, we only rushed the ball 13 plays yesterday. Tom, if he keeps the turnovers down, actually has a pretty good day passing. Completed over 70% of his passes for 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, but 2 picks and 1 fumble, 1 lost fumble.
Yep.
And he threw 2 dimes that were touchdown passes over 42 yards. 2 of them over 42 yards. If they win the game, we're sitting here talking about how right we are about the GOAT soundtrack, right? From a come-from-behind victory, nonetheless. And then one bright spot, too, Chris Godwin. He had 8 catches for 140 yards. The Pooh Bear, break down for us. What else did we see that we liked or disliked from the offense yesterday?
Well, this was probably the 4th week in a row up until, I don't know, the third quarter where Brady was having a bad week, a very pedestrian-like week for him. His numbers were down. He wasn't throwing for a lot of average. He's still inaccurate. He's missing a lot of timing routes. We saw a hold on one where I think it was Tyler Johnson was running a short little out.
There was a missed call on the hold.
Yeah, yes.
But it was a timing route where he got held up just enough.
Correct. Was that? It actually may have been a pick. Now that I think back on it, it may have been an interception. That's why it was such a big deal.
You're right. It was a pick. It was a pick.
So it was an interception that shouldn't have been, because had Johnson not been held, he would have been in position to make the catch. Defender probably doesn't get in there.
Yeah.
Right. Defender probably doesn't get in there. So I'm a little concerned about the accuracy. The offensive line, I thought, played fairly well. They gave up a couple of sacks under some pressures. I think part of that was Brady holding the ball a little too long, looking for the deep pass. I'm not sure that's what we want to be looking for right now. Bright spots, I really like what Tyler Johnson did. He had a great game as a reserve receiver. I liked what Jalen Darden did. I liked what Cyril Dovizak, whatever the guy caught the long touchdown for.
Never even heard of that guy.
Who was that
guy? On the roster. Didn't even know he was on the roster until yesterday.
Nope. Same here.
Hey,
so
the Saints didn't know he was on the roster. They didn't know he was on the field until they got him. He was that far alone.
Where'd who go? So Gronkowski played. He probably shouldn't have. He kind of ate up a roster spot.
Well, actually, he played just about a quarter, and then he was out the rest of the game.
I think he played one series.
He had one target, and then left the game. He's having back spasms. So, and then I think BA came out today and said he probably shouldn't have put him on the roster because that was kind of taking up a spot for somebody that we could have used. Just not their best performance. They still seem out of sync a little bit in the first half. The second half got a lot better for the offense. Abandoning the run a little too much, I think. I want to see more of Giovanni Bernard catching the ball out of the flat. That seemed to have a lot of success every time they tried it. And we're just not seeing enough of that, I don't think. And I'm done with Ronald Jones. Let's see more of Leonard Fournette or anybody else we got that we can put in there. But the Ronald Jones, he's just not getting it done.
Do you guys think that Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich intentionally kept part of the playbook closed because they may need to show it later on in the season?
You brought that up.
I did bring it up because let's think about this for a second, okay? Because through targeted, Tyler Johnson was being targeted. I mean, way more than normal. I mean, 10 times the normal amounts. And our tight ends that normally see a lot of production, even without Gronk in there. I mean, OJ Howard, Cameron Brate, those guys were almost.
I think our tight ends only had one catch.
Yeah, they were almost quiet the entire game. I feel like they intentionally didn't show everything that we can do.
Well, I don't know, Chief. I think this is the National Football League, and you go out there trying to win a game
Yeah.
every single game. Here's the thing to remember.
I'm not saying they weren't trying to win. They were trying to win, but they just weren't going to win with every tool we had.
You're saying
I understand what you're
saying.
What it is. I understand what you're saying, but I think they've got enough. None of these players are rookie. Well, some of them are rookies. None of them are so foreign to the Saints or anyone else in the league that matter. They don't have any tape on them. There's tape on everybody. Byron didn't come up with any impressive plays overnight that he's going to be able to plug in and be magic like the water boy coach with Fonzie. So I just don't think that I don't think that's the way it works. I think you have a game plan based on the defense that you're presented with, and you run plays with the personnel that you have on your roster, and try to win matchups. Essentially,
let's remember AB's hurt, Scotty Miller is out, Gronk not healthy.
But you've had Evans and Lattimore who have had this long history of locking each other up to where Evans doesn't have great games against the Saints. Usually he has had good games, but typically he does not. So you're going to look for that third receiver because Godwin, he had 184 yards, so he got his. So you're looking for that third receiver to take up the space that Evans is being occupied with. I guarantee you that the Saints' third cornerback or defensive back is nowhere close to Lattimore's skill set. So that's why Tyler Johnson was able to have some flexibility there. So I just think it was about matchups more than it was playbooks and putting that out there.
Here's my thing, Chief, to kind of go to speak against that if I can, is the Bucs are on bye this week and the Saints have already had their bye. If the Saints win this
came off their bye.
Yeah. If the Saints win this coming week while we're on bye, they are tied with us for the top record in the division. Right. So, I mean, let's remember, we got to get in the playoffs to win the Super Bowl. And that starts with winning the division.
Yep.
So I think they're a division opponent. If you can beat them twice, then you hope that you don't have to play them in the playoffs.
Yep.
I just think that I'll be surprised if when we play the Saints again, I think it's going to be a totally different game plan offensively. We will see heavy on the tight ends. We will see more running. By the way, when we did run the football, it seemed like all 11 men were on that defensive line. And then when we were throwing the football, it was always into triple coverage. It didn't seem to matter where he went. There were always multiple guys. I don't know how, they always seem to have the correct defense on the field. It just
maybe we were out coached.
No, we were just unlucky.
Well, I mean,
sometimes you're just unlucky like that.
I mean,
Sean Payton is a great coach.
He is a good coach. Yeah.
He's no slouch. A couple of intangibles to talk about real quick. So we already brought up the penalties. We had 11 penalties for nearly 100 yards. The Saints only penalized twice for 10 yards. I think the dagger, like the thing that's hurting us the most right now for this loss, is we came from behind. We were 3 scores down. We came from behind to take the lead and then eventually lose. Now, if you remember, late in the fourth quarter, we went for a 2-point conversion. Had that been converted when the Saints kicked their field goal, tie ball game. At that point, with 90 seconds, Brady gets the ball with 90 seconds left and doesn't really have to do anything. You don't know what could happen, or you just go into overtime going, hey, we'll take our chances there. But instead, we're down 2 points because of the failed conversion there, and we have to try to make some plays, and ultimately that's what led to the pick 6.
I think that every idea chart out there says go for the 2. When in the fourth quarter, you're only going to have.
I'm not saying not go for it. I'm just saying
it was the right decision. It just didn't work.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was the wrong decision. I'm just saying had we converted, there's less of the pressure to score on that last possession of the game, because if you don't, it's still a tie ball game. You live to overtime, is what I'm saying. So we talk about Jameis. He goes down with a torn ACL. He's out for the season. He was playing well. For what little we saw him, he was 6 of 10 for almost 60 yards, 40 yards rushing. We had talked on this show last week. We were either going to see the Jameis that puts up 400 yards and 5 TDs, or we were going to see the guy who throws a bunch of picks, which he's only thrown 3 picks all season. He was on pace to have a pretty good game. We didn't have him figured out.
You were surprised by that, weren't you?
That he only threw 3 picks?
Yeah, Peyton's keeping him in positions to succeed. You know, he's not putting him in those positions. So that was always Jameis's biggest problem, was his decision making, and the no risk it or no
biscuit,
no biscuit, no risk it. Win or lose, we booze, baby. I don't know what this guy's got so many sayings that Bruce Arians has, where it was very loosey goosey, run the receivers down the field and let the ball go. So Jameis was having to stand back behind the line that wasn't as good as it is right now for the Buccaneers, make the decision of which receiver to pick, and then make the throw, which he can make the throw. We've all seen him make the throws. It's when he makes the poor decisions that gets him in trouble.
Yeah.
So Sean Payton's not putting him in those situations. He's getting him in those short yardage. And you saw it yesterday when he was running. He would, instead of forcing the throw, he would run the ball, which was wide open because the Buccaneers were in coverage. They actually had some pretty good coverage for being so depleted as their defense is right now.
Yeah. What he got last year was the ability to sit back, learn an offense, watch. He essentially went to a quarterback grad school all last year, watching Drew Brees, play quarterback. And that's something he never got here in Tampa. I mean, he was drafted, he was thrown in, he was like, "Go, good luck, young man." And he was a very young man when he went in there. And then he wound up with 3 different offensive coordinators in 4 years. I mean, that's got to be confusing for him.
Listen, we certainly didn't treat the guy well.
No, we didn't help him. I mean, I'm A-okay that he's not here anymore, but we didn't really set him up for success either. And he was definitely looking like the quarterback that we had hoped we were going to get without any training. I mean, and which doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
Just got to keep the reins on him, and he's fine. And he's still only, you say he's a young man. I think he's still less than 30 years old. I'm looking it up now to see.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I think he came out. He was only 20 when he came out, or something like that. I bet he's 20. I put him at 26.
He was born 94.
27.
94, the year I graduated high school. All right, Pooh Bear.
He gone.
Uh-oh. Pooh Bear's frozen. Here we go.
He gone.
Here you go. All right, Chief.
Yeah.
I'm going to move us into fantasy football.
Let's do it.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Look who's back.
Hey, when you came in with the hat on yesterday, I thought you were Patrick because you were doing the wizard. But I'm like, Patrick didn't draw names. I don't understand.
No, the hat was representative of Pooh Bear, or that you work at a ship plant.
There you go. There you go. It's the poo nature of my job.
Hey, let's talk about the Survivor League. Let's talk about the Man Event Survivor League, because we are down to 2.
The last 2.
And you know what? We had 2 guys go out yesterday for picking the Bengals over the Jets, and I'm going to tell you, those are solid picks. I would have made, if I hadn't, you already had used the Bengals early this year. That's a trap I may have fallen into, because I mean, nobody had the Jets beating the Bengals last week. But tonight, I mean, it's not over yet, because Jeremy's super pick set is playing tonight against the Giants. He's got the Chiefs.
So it's down.
You're saying tonight you could be crowned champion?
Maybe. By the way, do you all know that the Chiefs are dead last in their division?
Yeah.
Can you believe
they're not playing well at all.
They are dead last, which I think is only like they're like what are they, 3-4 or something like that, or 3-3. So it's not like it's end of the world for them, but I mean, they might be like maybe one lost team at this point.
So I'm not going to let you bask in your glory of being the only remaining man event.
That's all I got for this week.
The only remaining man event employee in the Survivor League. Let's talk about how you did last week, Chief, on your picks.
Oh, well, let's talk about it, man, because when you decided to go Pooh Bear, went Cardinals over Packers. I think I led the charge on the Packers. So me, B-Love, and Matt went Packers over the Cardinals. And that's all I had for me for the week. I did say in the show, I regretted picking the Bears. I made my picks early, before the Bears were a bad choice. So that was B-Love, Pooh Bear, and Matty Ho for the 49ers. And then Pooh Bear came in lone man standing for the Panthers over the Falcons. I got to tell you, man, that may be, well, that's not the week. That's second biggest surprise for me. Really, third biggest surprise because I didn't have the Bucs losing, and I certainly didn't have the Jets beating the Bengals.
Yeah.
So
you went 1-2. Pooh Bear was 2-1.
Yes.
I was 2-1.
You were 2-1 as well.
All right. So where's that put the rankings at year to date? Carry the 1, move the decimal.
And I feel the socks are coming off of Pooh Bear's house right now.
Well, we need a staff for this. This is getting ridiculous.
Pooh Bear's like, we need a staff.
I mean, like, we have children. Can't they be interns? They can do math.
Yeah, why not?
Can they get Bright Futures time for this?
Wow.
That's what we're talking about.
So I went 0.
Carry the 1.
This is this difficult. Maybe we should talk about next week's.
Here, I'll tell you what we do. Hold on. I've got TSG's video here. All right, we're gonna share this. He's live from the Lightning game, taking on right now.
Wow, he got it in time. Okay.
Yeah. So let's do that, and I'll do the calculations while we watch this. It's only a minute long.
Okay.
Bring this up. Hopefully we can hear it.
They are 4-3-1.
Oh, there we go.
What's up, fan event TSG here live at Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium, where we are playing the Washington Capitals, a 5-0-3 team. These Caps have had a strong start, but the Lightning, who unfortunately for us, are much better on the road. They beat the Caps in their first game that we played in Washington. Hopefully the Lightning, who have had a very mediocre start by Tampa Bay standards, start to win at home. Yes, they are 4-3-1, but maybe they can make me and my wife and the rest of the Lightning fans happy by winning some home games, and that needs to start tonight, fellas. You guys never sent me the games, so we are picking. I'm just going to take whatever Chief takes, just like B-Love does. And, yeah, because you guys never sent me the games on purpose, I'm sure.
On purpose, he says.
Wow, he acts like we don't like him or something, man.
Listen, does he understand how chaotic it is in the 30 minutes before we start?
I know. Here's what I just want to say real quick. First of all, the Tampa Bay Lightning don't play at the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium.
Right.
They play in an arena.
And he's been to like 3
arena, not a stadium.
And it's called Emily Arena. And he's been to like 3 games already.
I know.
He's a season ticket holder. He knows.
I know.
He knows.
He's going to have to take this guy's man event card.
He was just on the spot. Maybe that's what it was.
All right.
So
Pooper, did you get your math done?
No, because I had to do.
That's all right. I'm going to go ahead and write TSG down for Jags for the next 3 games here. TSG gets the Jags. B-Love, let's just go ahead and start, my brother. He's working on math.
All right, so the first game up this week is the Browns versus the Bengals.
Yes.
The Battle of Ohio.
All right.
So, Chief, who you got? Eeny, meeny, miny.
How about it? I mean, look, the Bengals just got beat by the Jets. I don't know. Are they bad or are they going to come out mad? I don't know. I say fundamentally the Browns are a better football team, although they haven't really, done what I've expected them to do. But I'm going to go. I don't know why I'm going to go Browns. I like Baker Mayfield's commercials.
I was going to say, I guess commercials. Baker Mayfield.
I like his commercials. Now the Halloween with the nachos and the cheese. That's kind of funny.
Pooh Bear, what you got for Browns versus Bengals?
I'm going to go with the Bengals. I mean, I know the Bengals just lost the Jets, but the Browns did just lose to the Steelers. I think the Browns are better offensively. They're just not as good defensively. And the Browns, they've got a great run game. We're not sure if Baker's still healthy, if he's going to come back this coming week or not. I mean, we're projecting a week out. It's one of the dangers of making these picks, by the way. But so I'm going to go with the Bengals. I like Joe Burrows. I think he's, I need his rookie card value to go up anyway, so my investments look good.
No, there you go. All right, so I'm gonna go. I am gonna go with the Browns, and for a couple of factors, yes, I'm with the Chief on the Bengals. Just got beat by the Jets, but I do think from the quarterback standpoint that Baker Mayfield's just a better quarterback than Joe Burrow, and
But
that's all I got.
is he going to play?
Is he gonna? That is the question, but
Well, we'll see.
There you
So
go.
game 2, the Jets. Dude, who picked these games?
hey, this is the Thursday night. This is the battle of the bads right here. I mean, Jets and Colts.
This is what we're stuck with on Thursday night.
Yeah,
You realize on Thursday we're not going to have any more baseball by Thursday, and
this is what we get.
Oh my gosh!
Jets and Colts. Jets and
Wow.
Colts.
I'm going to go Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you. I think I'm going to go Colts. I think the Jets don't win 2 games in a row all season. It won't happen all season.
I don't think they've won 2 games in 3 years.
Yeah. So I got the Colts.
Yeah, listen, I was hoping to, when I picked this one, I was hoping to bait somebody in there with the Jets win over the Bengals. And I can't even do it, man. I'm like, I can't go the Jets, man. I can't do it. So that's a 3-way right there, Colts.
All right.
Everybody's got the Colts. And then the last game we're going to look at is the Vikings versus the Ravens. Now, before I go to the Chief, I'm going to make his pick for him because he hates the Vikings. So I'm quite positive he's going to go Ravens.
Hey, the Vikings could be playing the Jags, and I would pick the Jags. You know, you're absolutely right, man. So you're right. I go Ravens.
There's a lot of purple in this game.
There's a lot of purple, and there's a football reason I think why you pick the Ravens over the Vikings. Besides the fact that you just hate the Vikings, that football reason is the quarterback. Lamar Jackson is the real deal, Holyfield there, and I don't think the Vikings can slow him down.
All right, B-Love's going Ravens too. I'm going to go Vikings just to be different. I mean, they do have a realistic chance of winning, but
Do they?
like you said, huh?
No,
Yes,
they actually
do.
do. I mean, they absolutely do.
They're not awful. They're just haven't been playing very well. Who knows? There could be an injury or two, and who knows? But we got to break out the monotony somehow. Otherwise, we're all going to be 3-0 or 0-3.
Yeah. So, anyways, where were we? So, did you ever get the things calculated?
Yes.
And what do you got?
You finally somehow wiggled your way into first place.
What? Dude, I do not trust this math at all.
Yes.
Man. It took him 20
Yes.
minutes to add it up, and now he's declaring D-Love in first place.
Well, he was in second last week, so I mean, he went 3-0. I mean, you're gonna do well when you do that. So he's tied for first place with you. You're both at 14 and 10. I'm in second at 13 and 11, and TSG is 8 and Jags. So
hey, Matty Ho's got a chance to beat TSG.
yeah, Matty Ho's 2-1.
Matty Ho's 2-1 now.
Wow. All right, so finishing up the NFL real quick, some around the league type stuff. I thought it was interesting to see today that the Los Angeles Rams have traded to acquire Von Miller. This team is starting to look like the Buccaneers of 2020. They got all chips in.
But what value does he have right now? He hasn't been playing well. When he is playing, or when he's not playing well, he's hurt, he's injured. So I'm not sure what they got in this whole deal other than a name that used to be a defensive player of the year.
Multiple time defensive player of the year.
Right. So I don't know.
You're saying he's a has-been.
I'm not saying he's a has-been. He's clearly still a professional football player, but I think he's thriving a lot more on his.
Uh-oh. We lost
There he
Pooh Bear
goes.
again. All right.
Hey, I mean, forget what the Rams are doing. How about what the Bucs are going to do? Are the Bucs going to do any? We got just roughly like 18 hours until this trade deadline comes to pass.
Oh, I don't think anything's going to happen at the trade deadline.
I think the Buccaneers are absolutely trying to get something as far as maybe like a second tier cornerback. They're not. There's no cap room for for a first tier, but we still have $2 million that we cleared up $3 million in cap space by working was it Kappa's contract?
Kappa's deal, yeah.
Kappa's deal, yeah.
I
So
don't know.
we have $2 million to spend, and I think we're
Yeah,
going to do it. I think we're going to find a cornerback.
I don't know. I'd be surprised if they do anything. I think they're counting on some guys coming back and being healthy. Richard Sherman, one of them. There was an update today, although I didn't read it, on Murphy Bunting or whatever the 3-name guy is. It looks like he's set to return here pretty soon.
So is Carlton Day. They both the starting cornerbacks should be back after the bye week.
Yeah. So and
Sean Murphy Bunting, I'm gonna tell you, that type of injury that he had, you just don't know. I mean, he could land on that thing again, and it's all wrecked for the rest of the season. I honestly believe that the Bucs are going to do something in free agency as far as a cornerback.
We'll see in a few hours.
Yes.
All right. Here's the Pooh Bear. You shared with us coming into the show that the Titans today, after losing Derrick Henry for the rest of the season, have picked up all day Mr. Adrian Peterson.
AD. Yeah. So Derrick Henry goes out with a ankle injury. He's going to need surgery. It says 8 to 10 weeks, which is essentially the rest of the season, depending on the playoffs. And so in order to bolster their running back core, they did sign Adrian Peterson, the oft-retired Adrian Peterson.
This guy's like 90 years old.
They signed him to the practice squad, by the way. So he's not necessarily on the roster. He's just on the practice squad to where he could be called up a lot easier than they would, somebody off the street.
Well, he's got to get in football shape.
Well, we don't know that he's not.
I bet Chef Javi picks him up in fantasy this week.
Or buys his jersey.
But that's a huge loss for the Titans losing Henry. I mean, this guy leading the league in rushing. He's Mr. Everything in Tennessee or in Nashville right now.
How about this? So Jameis goes down yesterday. Taysom Hill is in week 5 of concussion protocol, or has been in concussion protocol since week 5. Right. It doesn't look like his return is likely anytime soon. So this week, New Orleans has to pick up another quarterback. Is there any chance that they call Cam?
I mean, how can you not? He's available. You need a quarterback.
Or do they get desperate for Deshaun Watson?
The Saints had 4 quarterbacks on their roster. They still have 3. They still
have 3?
Yeah, they still have one.
Well, it's not whoever it is. It's not as good as Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, I have no idea about that.
Otherwise, he'd be playing already.
Hold on, I'll tell you right.
I mean, they could place a call to Drew Brees for all we know and say, "Hey,
you know what? That's not a bad idea either." Hey, Brett Favre will come out of retirement and he'll play.
Oh my gosh! Talk about being in football shape.
The gunslinger. All right. So, Chief, we'll let you continue to look that up. So, Major League Baseball. The season ends the middle of this week. Currently, the World Series is 3-2 Braves. We see the Astros stave off elimination last night after going down early, then going down again, and then coming back. So they come from behind twice to get that victory last night. I hate those guys. I don't know any other way to put it. I hope with everything that I have that they do not score another run in the World Series and the Braves can clinch this thing off. But Pooh Bear, you brought up an interesting side note in the green room today that we haven't gone over our predictions of the Major League Baseball season.
Yeah. So before this Major League Baseball season started, we made predictions, bold predictions, by the way, not just normal predictions, some bold predictions about how we felt things would go or maybe something we might see. So, for instance, TSG, he had a bold prediction. We all made 2 predictions, one involving the Rays, being Rays specific towards Rays players and or staff, and one league-wide, okay? So TSG's predictions were that Chris Archer would be the number 1 ace of the staff and would end up winning the Cy Young. So he's dead money on that. Oh, wait a second. No, he's wrong completely.
That's kind of like saying that the Tampa Bay Lightning play in the Lightning Stadium. It's kind of the same thing.
So we saw Chris Archer for a total of what, 3 games, maybe?
I think he pitched less than 9 innings. I don't know that he pitched 9 innings.
He may not have pitched the whole game. So he was way off on that one. His second one was actually not – well, it looked like it could have been come true. He said the Mets would make the playoffs. which wasn't that. First of all, wasn't that crazy at the beginning of the season. And about 3/4 of the way through the season, it looked like it could happen until they lost to Grom, and then just saw the wheels fell off. All right, so on the Chiefs pick. So Chiefs said that Kevin Kiermaier, fan favorite, wife favorite, would hit 325 and bat 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases.
Boom. That didn't happen.
Nope, it did not.
None of those three things happened.
Oh man, I had it up and it's gone.
How many stolen bases did he have? Do we know that?
No, I had it all 30. Up and I had to cancel it. And you also said that the Rays would trade away half their team as your.
They didn't. Well, I said that they would have half of their starters would not be on the team by the end of the season. I think that was
probably pretty accurate. You know, we had a new shortstop.
Okay, so they're
new third baseman or new first baseman because G-Man Choi did not start the season.
No, yeah, he was just injured.
Yeah, but he wasn't starting.
He's on the roster. It's not like he didn't come from nowhere.
No.
So that was not too close. All right, so
that was his bold prediction for the season.
Yeah. So I mean, I think where he was going was with the things like Willie Adames being traded away.
Yes.
You know, it's become known that the Rays kind of, you know, once you start to fall in love with a player, that's about the time they start to look for.
Yeah. Well, man, I love Kevin Kiermaier. I hope that they don't trade him in the offseason. I love him. he is my favorite Ray. Hey, I mean, I cannot. He is the face of the franchise. They cannot trade him.
Not for nothing. He was the best performer in the playoff, though.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
He's also not worth the dollar average.
All right. No, so level. B-Love, yours were my shorthand is killing me. I don't know what it says here. My shorthand says not on R and 40 man.
A Rosarena.
You say Rosarena would not be on the 40 man roster.
I don't think I said that, but
okay.
What?
Well,
that's odd. What?
Yeah, I know it's hard. I should have written better notes. But your league wide one was that Shohei Ohtani, which you got half right, would hit for over 20 home runs, which he did. He led the league with 52. No.
Yep.
But you also said he would have 20 wins as a pitcher. Ooh. And that didn't happen.
I think he had 6.
Yeah. So, and part of that is because the Angels are so bad. So, I mean,
by the way, he will win the MVP. He will be the American League MVP.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. Well, Vladimir, because he pitched.
Vladimir did not pitch every 5 days.
You're right. So probably because of that, he will. But the voters love numbers. All right. So on to the ones that were really, really good picks. Mine, my league wide. I said that the Padres would miss the playoffs, given that dynamic division.
Wow.
That the Padres would not make the playoffs.
You're right. We all called you stupid, too.
And guess what? Padres weren't in the playoffs, boys and girls.
Nope.
My Ray-specific one probably would have come true as well. I said that after finishing in strikeouts 10th last year, Tyler Glasnow would lead the league in strikeouts. He blew out his arm, needs Tommy John surgery. But at the moment he did, he was
leading the league.
Yes. Well, he was second to Shane Bieber, who Shane Bieber ended up winning or leading the league. So
I think what I was trying to say, because I remember this, what I was saying about a Rosarena is I did not think he would back up his playoff run.
Okay, so maybe not with the 10 home runs in those games, but he did. He had
a great playoffs.
He will
win Rookie of the Year.
He'll be Rookie of the Year. And I mean, he's up for a Gold Glove, which I don't see. All right, so he is not a great outfielder. He is not a great outfielder. He gets under a ball and he doesn't take good routes, but I mean, he doesn't make a lot of errors.
It's like watching Serrano.
Yeah, field. I just don't have an easy feeling with him in the outfield, but you know, he did have a decent bat. He had a decent batting campaign. So, and he played well in the playoff. He came alive again in the first couple of games of the series.
Right. So I just had a thought come to me. We're running out of time, and we still have to get to You Can't Fix Stupid. But I had a thought come to my mind. I was kind of joking before we got started that Albert Pujols is currently playing in the Winter League. By the way, the first time ever in his career he's played in the Winter League. He's playing in the Dominican Republic right now because he wants to be on a big league roster next season. I just realized he is exactly the type of player that the Rays signed.
Kind of the Nelson Cruz. because they're not
He
going
is
to be
the
able to afford that
exact kind of player that the Rays like to sign.
La Machina.
They want to get every last bit of baseball out of him.
I mean,
And
You
he
may
can
be right
protect
about
Wander.
that. You
He
may
can
be right
protect
about
Wander
that.
Franco.
that's interesting. All right. Did somebody say you can't fix stupid?
You can't fix stupid. All right, so thankfully this week, the two of you can't fix stupids we have do not come from the state of Florida. But
Thankfully.
they do come from the Google searches of one Mr. Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear, what you got for us?
So I'm trying to bring them up for my chat. So all right,
Well,
the
you want me
first
to help
one,
you out?
no,
Okay.
well, the first one comes to us from Ohio, where the state lawmakers, these vanity plate or these they're not really vanity, they're designer plates, right? So here in Tampa, in Florida, you can purchase a Miami Heat plate, a Tampa Bay Rays plate, a Jacksonville
Who's got
plate.
one of those on their car?
I used to have a Buccaneers one, but
I still
it's
got a Flagler College one.
oh, there you go. So it's double the price of the normal tax, and I just got tired of paying the tax. So anyway, Ohio says, hey, we're going to do one to honor the Wright brothers. Fair enough. They're first to flight, all that kind of stuff. They were from, I believe, the Dayton area in Ohio. They had a motor and repair shop there. So they put on their very first airplane. They're very famous. You've all seen it. It's in the Smithsonian's, the biplane with the long tail and all this. And I think Wilbur actually laid down on the plane in order to get it to go. Well, they put it on, they immortalized it on the license plate, but they put it in backwards. So the way the brothers designed it, the tail of a traditional plane, the way we see planes today with the wings, and then you get the tail in the back, the rudder and all that, theirs was not that way. It was actually in the front to control, more like a car.
So
or a buggy.
the picture of the plane they put on the license plate is not actually a replica of the actual plane.
It is, but it's backwards.
It's backwards.
Oh gosh.
You know what that means? That means there's a bunch of prisoners that have to go back and restamp all those things.
They still do that. Is that the way?
And by the way, didn't they put first in flight on that license plate, right?
I believe so, but that was North Carolina.
They flew from Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. No,
Right.
I mean they were from Ohio and they went to North Carolina to do it. So technically, it's North Carolina.
Yeah, their repair shop and all that. I believe it started in Dayton. I think they were born in Dayton. I did a report on them in high school after I went to the Smithsonian Museum. I really enjoyed learning about them.
Okay, what's your next one, Pooh Bear?
All right, the second one is, I'm bringing it up now. This is the guy that the hiker in Colorado goes missing. So a hiker is in Colorado. He goes missing, and obviously one of the first things we do in 2021 when someone's missing was we call them. You got their phone number. Hey, it's reported Tom's missing. Fire department, the rescue personnel. Okay, well, let's call Tom. They call Tom. There's no answer. Typically, we would think, okay, well, their phones must be dead, out of batteries. No. Actually, it wasn't Tom. Let's find his name here. It's he's hiking Mount Elbert. Does not give his name. Guessing to protect the innocent. So they're looking for Tom. They call the phone. He doesn't answer it because he doesn't recognize the number, which I'm sure a lot of us do. We get a strange number calling us. We're busy. We don't really want to talk. You ignore it. But if you're locked in the woods, you might want to answer.
And you might want to sign up for a car warranty or something because they're going to find you, No, I feel like nobody can get lost today as long as those car warranty people are out there, because I don't care where I'm at or what I'm doing, man. Those guys know it.
Or the solar people. I'm getting the solar.
Solar people. Yeah.
Oh my God. I had one call me the day, ask if I owned the home and gave me my address. And I said, no, we just got booted out last week. I'm homeless, living in my car. Can you help me? And they said, well, no, we can't put panels on the car. I'm like, I don't care about the panels. I want help. I'm homeless. I'm jobless. Help me, please. I'm desperate.
Oh my God.
Click.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
Hey, by the way, the Saints have 4 quarterbacks on their roster. Ian Book being the 4th.
Rookie
out of Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Yep.
Yes.
Wow, they carried 4 quarterbacks on their. That's because
you got Jameis Winston's your starter. You better do. You had to do something.
Yep.
Well, that's because Taysom Hill's probably listed as a tight end, right?
No, he's listed as a quarterback.
He's listed as a quarterback. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and think about it too. They just came off of a dozen years or so with Drew Brees. you're not really certain what kind of leader you're going to need to lead your offense.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. They did draft Ian Book to be the quarterback of the future. Taysom Hill's traditionally not a quarterback. He's more of a gadget guy.
Mm-hmm.
You've got an unknown commodity in Jameis. You keep your Marcus Simeon or Trayvon Walker, whatever his name was. You keep him around as like your journeyman style Blaine Gabbert, get you through a game against the Bucs when the Winston goes out kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. That's all pretty logical.
All right. Who's ready to call it?
We're done. All right. So we never got to the Lightning. TSG was wanting to talk a little bit about the Lightning. He's at the game tonight. So let's go Bolts. They've not had a great start to their season.
No, not a good start to the season.
Tampa Bay, we're losing the luster on Tampa Bay, boys and girls. It's just it doesn't feel well. If I speak it's a truth, then maybe it turns around. You know what I mean? Like we still have good teams, good football teams.
Maybe the Tampa Bay thing kind of moved north. You got Atlanta on the brink of a World Series. You got Georgia, #1 college football team in the country.
You got the Falcons. Oh, never mind. All right, so anyway, that's it for us, boys and girls.
Chief, what can you tell us about the Hawks in the NBA? Are they any good?
Oh yeah.
Who are the Hawks?
I think I can name a player. Tyler Hero.
Those are the Armwood Hawks. Is that what we're talking about? The high school team up the street?
Oh, anyway, that's it for us. We'll be back again live next Sunday at 7 o'clock because we're going to do this back to the old days, right? We'll get back off the boat. We're going to be on the boat, but we'll get back. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, if you're new because of the GOAT video and you stuck around, man, you were awesome. You're the real MVP. For the rest of you, we still love you. Don't ever leave us. Until then, we'll see you next Sunday at 7. Say goodnight, Chief.
Good night.